Today we're looking at the AKG P170, the second last mic in the Perception series that I needed to review. There's only one left, which is the P820, which it's on the way, kinda. But the important thing is how does the P170 sound? Well, you've been listening to it this whole time. That's something, right? Now, before we get into all the testing, guitar included, let's take a look at its build quality. It's pretty much a small baton. Actually, I was kind of surprised by its size, as the last pencil mics I owned were Audio-Technica, and it was, well, smaller. This thing is verging on a small shotgun-style microphone. As for the body, solid feeling, decent weight to it, and it's an all-metal body. The grill is also metal, but be warned, not much pop protection coming with it. Not much else to say except the pad slider here. It's a 20 dB step down if you're putting this up against a cabinet or perhaps a really loud instrument. Now this is a small diaphragm condenser or SDC with the cardioid polar pattern. It is 20 Hz to 20 kHz, has a max SPL of 155 dB with the pad engaged, a signal to noise ratio of 75 dBA weighted, self noise of 19 dBA weighted, a sensitivity of 15 millivolts per Pascal, and as I mentioned before, a surprising weight of 1.72 pounds. So before we do the testing, let's talk about what we're listening for. Well, the main difference between a small diaphragm condenser and a large diaphragm condenser basically just comes down to the measurements. Literally, a small diaphragm condenser is under 1 inch. A large diaphragm condenser is over 1 inch, which makes sense. But you're also thinking, well, bigger's better, right? Well, hold on there. You see, the diaphragms on these microphones are much like speakers. Not to simplify it too much, but let's just consider that for a moment. The bigger the speaker, the boomier it can get, right? While that's true, you also lose out on clarity, especially in the highs and even in the high mids. This is normally due to something called transient response, which, while it's an oversimplification of the explanation, it's basically the ability of the diaphragm to reset quicker. And in the end, the smaller diaphragm will sound crisper and more detailed, especially in those upper frequencies, because it resets quicker. Generally something you're looking for in an instrumentation microphone. Now, if you want to simplify it even more, most like to describe the large diaphragm condensers as having character, and the small diaphragms as being true to sound and having a bit more air to them, while the large have more coloration. Generally speaking, pencil condensers tend to have a tighter polar pattern throughout all of the frequencies, which can't necessarily be said for a lot of the larger diaphragm condensers, which in practice means small diaphragms will have more focus on the sound you want to capture, while large diaphragms may pick up more ambiance. Now, this will really be my only standard test of this microphone, but it is one of its more important features. Time for the off-axis rejection test of the AKG P170. This is me speaking directly into the front of the microphone from about 12 inches away. Now I'm speaking directly into the side of the capsule from about 12 inches away. And now I'm speaking directly into the rear of the capsule from about 12 inches away. Now, before we get into the guitar sampling of the small diaphragm condenser versus the large diaphragm condenser, let's do a couple microphones. This one is the AKG P120. This is officially a small diaphragm microphone. The diaphragm is actually under 1 inch, which means these two microphones are technically in the same category of microphone. However, this one is just under 1 inch, and this one is definitely much smaller than that. So this is how they sound side by side. The P120 versus the P170. And now when we switch it up, let's see if there's extra depth that's maybe missing. And now we have the AKG P420 up against the AKG P170. This is a large diaphragm condenser. This is also the kind of the Cadillac of the P series. Minus the 820, of course. This is the 420. It's actually, well, still under $200, I believe. And this is the difference between the two microphones. This one being used as a boom, and this one being used as just a regular microphone. I'm about 6 inches off of the P420. What do you think? What do you think are the differences between these two microphones? It really makes you think when you're thinking about a pencil microphone and all the uses you could get out of it. Now, you may not have the complete depth that you have with something like the P420, but still, how much of a trade-off are you making if you went with just a straight boom mic with the P170? Let me know what you think down below. Let's move on to the guitar testing. I think the best way to sum up this microphone with one word: utility. Whether you're using it as a boom, like I am, for audio scratch, or even for main mic on video, it's going to serve you. Now, you're not going to blow anyone away with it, but it also doesn't sound horrible. If you want to hear more of it in that capacity, check out our New Year's stream. I used it throughout that video. But the real magic in these microphones is the versatility when you're miking instruments. You can use it in a platoon of mics to capture those high mids and highs. Get 2 and you can record in stereo. And you can use them on any instrument, including drums. The best part of these microphones is you won't go broke doing it. You can drop thousands in getting matched pairs for large capsule condensers. But with these things, you can do that at a fraction of the cost. Even in the high end, a pair of Neumann KM184s is only $1,500. Now, that's a lot of versatility for the price of sometimes a single Neumann microphone. And this one is specifically a fantastic deal for what you get. It's just over $100, and you can find them on sale for around $100 more often than not. Let me know down below, though, what would you like to mic up with this pencil microphone? Curious to hear what you guys are doing with this stuff. As for me, the mic's going to be put to use quite a bit over the next few months as I start to expand this channel. It should be fun. Hey, if you like this video, check out this other video that the algorithm thinks you're just going to love. Cheers, and I will see you in the next video.